Hello and welcome to the Bat Cave. I'm your host, BlindBat8719. On today's video, I'm playing for you my Atemsis Historic Brawl deck because Friday Night Magic is Historic Brawl night this week. Before I do, a small ask of my audience, please hit the subscribe button, help me grow the channel. I just hit 50 subscribers, I'm very excited about that. And I just wanted to say thank you to all my subscribers, I greatly appreciate your support. Now with all that out of the way, on to the deck tech. Now, this video is going to be a little different because Historic Brawl is only for one night. I just want to do a quick video, put this out, so I'm going to do a really abbreviated deck tech. This is my first time building an Atemsis deck. I kind of just built it today, so if you have your own list that you think I could take some pointers from, if you have any suggestions, greatly appreciate it. So with Atemsis All-Seeing is a 6-drop Sphinx for 4/5 that has flying, and basically the important part to me is the large box of text that says whenever Atemsis deals damage to an opponent, you may reveal your hand, and if you have 6 different converted mana costs in your hand, that player loses the game. I think I want to try to win with the alt win con. There is the effect of paying 2 and a blue, trap Atemsis, draw 2 cards, discard a card. Not really planning on using it for that. I really just want to win with Atemsis. So the piles are broken up. This pile right here, I think are what I think are the protection spells. So Siren Stormtamer, Spell, Pure, Swan Song, Keep Safe, and Lazotep Plating. This pile here is kind of our interaction with the opponent. It's some counter spells. It's some board interaction. So Essence Scatter, Lofty Denial, Essence Capture, Saw It Coming are the counter spells. Thassa's Intervention also can work there as well. Icebind Pillar, hopefully tap down any blockers that might stop us from hitting our opponent with Atemsis. Brazen Borrower to bounce something we don't want our opponent to have, also going to be a creature for us. Dream Eater is a fun card, or for me, it was a fun card to play with back when Ravnica was in session in Standard, so wanted to bring a Dream Eater back here to give us some little card selection, as well as bouncing something back to our opponent's hand. And then Ugin the Ineffable to deal with permanents that we can't otherwise deal with, and maybe put some creatures on the play. This pile here is kind of help us with drawing cards, or at least getting some card advantage. So Omen of the Sea, Search for its Canta. This gives us a little more flexibility with either filtering out the top few cards and then looking for cards later. Winging Words, because it's the divination with discounts where Atemsis flies. Behold the Multiverse is just amazing. Gust of Wind, another card that does 2 things. It bounces and draws us a card with a discount. Alrund's really in here for fun. But if Alrund, we can lose Haka to help set up, and then Alrund can help us draw cards later on. And with Atemsis, I like having a nice draw spell on turn 5 to kind of start filling the hand up to try to win with. Graven Lores, again, instant speed, draw 3 card, which is good. And then Gadwick the Wizened, I think, is a great way to refill our hand after we played some stuff out, as well as allowing us to tap down our opponent's stuff when we're trying to maybe go in for the win with Atemsis' ability. The ramp here is pretty straightforward. Arcane Signet, Guardian Isle, Mind Stone, Midnight Clock, Heraldic Banner, Replicating Ring, Hedron Archive, and Solemn Simulacrum. The only thing I say I would note right now is that Hedron Archive and the Mind Stone can be sacrificed later on in the game to help us draw some cards to help us get some different numbers of converted mana cost in our hand. And then Midnight Clock, if we can maybe use a second ability to get a fresh 7, which might be a little bit easier to win with Atemsis that way. This pile here is basically the other win cons we have in the deck, at least that's what I'm calling this pile. Patient Rebuilding, again, sits well on the curve being at 5 mana. We can potentially mill our opponent out, as well as, again, at turn 5, or in this case turn 6 if they're in the upkeep, this will start let me draw more cards to have in my hand to try to win with Atemsis' ultimate ability. Alrund's Epiphany, on the high end, this should hopefully just push us over the edge if it's a close game. On the very low end, it basically says pay 7, draw a card, play a land, get 2 flying creatures. We'll see how well this actually works out. This is maybe one of the cuttable spots, but since Alrund's Epiphany is new and you can foretell it, so it gives us a play early on, I'm excited. I wanted to give it a try. So it probably could be cut, but I want to play with it since it's new. Kiora Best of Sea God is an all-star in a blue deck. I thought it would be another good way to hopefully close out the game if Atemsis plan isn't working out well. Seagate Restoration, I had a practice game before where this actually was the reason I won the game, because I was able to play Atemsis on 6, play Seagate on 7 to put in just enough cards in my hand with different mana costs so that when Atemsis hit the opponent, I was able to win with the alt win. Ugin the Spirit Dragon, we have, I think it's 8 ramp spells, so we can get up there pretty quickly for the mana, so I figured we might as well include Ugin since we have very few ways of winning besides Atemsis' alt win. So Ugin's a good way to help us close out games, and then Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger, because again we have a lot of ramp. We're going to try to play to the late game. This can be a way for us to win the game. It's very hard for our opponent to deal with this, and if we play out a long enough game, they may not have enough cards where maybe 1 or 2 swings is all it takes, and they're going to deck themselves. Regarding the mana base, 17 snow-covered islands just to take advantage of the Icebind Pillar and the Graven lore. And then specialty lands, Vantress to help us look at sort the top 2 occasionally. Lonely Sandboard, maybe cycle later on if we don't really need the land, but I think it's just a fun inclusion. Also, if we happen to have lands, converting mana cost count as 0. So if we happen to have 2 lands in our 6 or 7 cards, we could try to cycle the Lonely Sandboard to try to get another numbered mana cost into our hand. Crawling Barrens and Faceless Haven are other reasons, another reason to play Snow at least, but our mail lands that we have in the deck to help us close out the game if we need to. Fable Passage for a little bit of filtering, and then Field of Ruin of Blow-Up stuff we don't want our opponents to have. Now with that abbreviated deck take out of the way, let's jump into the arena for some Historic Brawls. Alrighty, we're going to give this hand a shot. We got 2 lands, the Mind Stone, the Search for Azcanta, Replicating Ring. So we got the man to kind of get there. We're playing against the Like 70 Bunnies piloting a Huatli Radiant Champion deck. I don't know what to expect other than green, white, good stuff. So I'm looking forward to seeing what our opponent has. Yeah, let's keep this. There's a little, maybe it's possible I should mulligan, but I'm going to be, because I had a flash of a thought that because they're green-white, they might be running a fair amount of enchantment and artifact removal. But we'll see how it goes. Let's say hello to the opponent and lead off with the snow-covered island. So the fun play would be to play out Search first to try to find the land, but maybe the safer play would be to play out the Mind Stone to get into a Replicating Ring on time, which then would leave us with, if we do 1, 2, that's 3, we play the 3 after that, and we draw our land drop, we might be able to, if we get, yeah, so let's go with this play for right now. Because you can make an argument that guaranteed land to play the Replicating Ring. If we draw the land, then we're golden playing out that with Search for Azcanta. Marisol the Accord. Alright, so we got there a little bit. Alrighty, so we'll play out the Replicating Ring. Memorial to Glory. This might have a little bit of a token theme is what they're looking like. Snow-covered island. We have a Search for Azcanta. So we're going to kind of bin anything that's not a land right now. And then whatever they play, we're probably just going to bounce back with Gust of Wind. Whenever one or more tokens. Oh, this hurts. But I believe we have to put Ugin to the graveyard. So if we spend the 3, we can play out Gadwick, draw 2, put that many 1/1 counters on Woodland Champion. If we do this, draw 2, that might be, that's us using up all our mana. So I think that's the play I'm going to go with there. And then I think that will set us up better for later on. Play out the island. Alright, so now next turn this is a sorcery, so we want to pay attention to that. We have Ugin, which isn't terrible, so we can always get rid of the woodland that way. Ooh, that's not good. Sapling Mutations. Okay. So that's swinging. No blocks. We'll take the 5 there. I like Patient Rebuilding. I'm going to keep that. I want us to draw that for right now. So 4, 5, 6. I think the more immediate play would be to, with 6 mana, I would say let's play out Gust of Wind. Becomes tap. So we don't actually want to tap Amara with this ability. If we draw the land, alright, so let's actually tap our colorless mana first. And I want to bounce back the Woodland Champion. And we'll tap down the 1/1. We draw a Swan Song. Okay. That's fine. So we'll use Saw It Coming for right now. No attacks here. So now at least we stymied the growth of the 5/5 creature. They could replay it again, but I have a funny feeling about what this card may be. I'm afraid it's that new elephant for each creature you control. Okay, that makes sense now with the about the token theme. I think we could put this into the graveyard. We don't want to draw that right now. We're kind of going to get that land going. Alrund's Epiphany, 4, 5, 6. Cannot cast that for right now. So Huatli, draw a card. Alright, so I think here, pay 6, doesn't do us. We can get rid of Huatli actually that way. We will lose that next turn. That doesn't do us any good. I think them getting the emblem's probably scary enough that it's worth using Ugin here. No attacks. We'll be able to take out a token at least this way. Johnny Greathearted. That's a good one. Doesn't really work well with a Mara, unfortunately, but... Coming at me, coming at me. I feel like killing the life-linking soldier might be better.
Too many unreliable valuables.
And then risk the redeem. Alright, we'll keep the land. Alright, 5, 6, 7 mana. So we go tap out. I don't think that's the right thing. I think we're better off going with the patient rebuilding. Tap down Reese, I guess. And then we'll keep the sword coming up. I think that's the right play for right now, because at least then, depending on how they do this, I would assume they're probably going to minus a Johnny so that they can get more counters on their stuff. Birth of Meletis. Is that worth dealing with right now? You get a search for land. We don't care about that part. I think that's fine. That's an activated ability. Okay. Alright, so enchantment, instant, or sorcery spell. They're probably not going to have too many of those. Let me get the enchantment. Alrighty, yes, so that's a good one for us. So I said let's tap down. Let's prevent some damage. Tap down the 2/2.
We're not destined to fight.
No block, take the hit there. Let's keep that on top of the library. Wow, we drew 3 lands off of that. That's kind of crazy. I look at my Field of Ruin, then I look at the Memorial of Glory, and I'm really tempted. Let's pull out the field for right now, just so we have it already in play as an option. So let's play out Atemsis right now. I don't really have any good attacks. So I think I'd rather just pass the turn here. And what I'm going to hope to do now is to basically counter whatever I can from them. And then use Alrund's Epiphany to get an extra turn. Because we have 0, 1, and we have 3 things. So these we don't touch. We'll play out Lofty Denial here. That'll let us tap down. Let's prevent some damage. We don't care they're going to get a counter, a token here, because we're going to try and win in 2 turns, hopefully. So these 3 we don't touch. So that then gives us... Alright. We don't care about the land right now. We want to get some things with room from mana cost. We want to make this into a land. Let's transform this actually, just so that we have more mana to work with here. Let's put a thing on the upkeep. Alright, I guess we had an... Alright, so I'm a little disappointed I wasn't able to pull off the play, but I guess maybe they saw that I have the mana untapped and they don't have a way of getting through it. Like 70 Bunnies, thank you very much for the game. Let's move on to the next one. This just seems like a slow hand for us. As we're playing against gabrielmacca, piloting an Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath, so blue-green control stuff. Because blue and green are two of the more powerful colors. And I don't think this does enough. At least as this has more early stuff, so I'm going to keep this version instead. Say hello to our opponent. Lead off with a snow-covered island. Some of the Uro decks that I've played against for the most part, they tend to just use him for value, so they'll just sacrifice him most of the time. Let's get out a Castle Vantress, and I think it's better off ramping a little bit ahead. And we'll hope that we're not missing out anything by not keeping up the Swan Song. Okay, so they're playing a flash deck. That's a dead giveaway for a flash deck. Okay. Alrighty then, snow-covered island. We have 4. So we're almost ready to use a Faceless Haven. Alright, turn 3 will probably be an Uro play, I would think. We'll take the hit. Alright, let's just flash in Element of the Sea before they have ability to draw anything or use anything. Scry 2, draw a card. I think I'd rather go with drawing a Behold. Alright, that's all good. They draw their card. They'll probably play out a blue source. And we can kind of do, with at least having these up, we can now kind of do what our opponent's trying to do, which is to play the flash game. We could. Okay. Fabled Passage. Crack this to get a land. Or I feel like we could play out Alrund and just at least drop a threat on our opponent. And refill our hand a bit. And I should have probably looked at what the stats are for the deck for what to search for. I know creatures is the lowest. Probably instant's the best bet, so let's look for instant. Figures, land, and artifact. Alright, forest and Uro again. So we'll get a little bit of a free attack, I think. Which we're probably going to attack first. So the biggest thing I'm afraid from our opponent, at least when they only have 1 mana, would be a... Alright, so this is going to be a bounce spell. Because otherwise, why would they attack? There's no reason for that otherwise. So I think we swing here. And then if we can, we'll try to untap and then cast Atemsis. Alright, so no bounce spell then. Do we have an extra mana? We don't have extra mana. So I would say I'm afraid of a Mystical Dispute, which would be the only other play that makes sense here. So I think I'm just going to pass. And again, look for... I'm going to guess for instant again. Sorcery and Artifact. Probably just start switching over to land soon, I think. So we have the keep safe. Alright, we don't care about a Witch's Oven. Also can't target it with a Swan Song. Let's see, what fancy tricks can we try here? Let's try Behold the Multiverse. Okay. Alright, I guess by us being able to counter this, they probably felt they were going to lose. Alright. gabrielmacca, thank you very much for the game. Let's go on to the next one. Alright, I'm going to mulligan this hand because we're going first, or I'm going first, and I have 2 lands. We're playing against Ryklops, piloting a Jorn, God of Winter deck. I can only imagine what shenanigans this could be up to now that we're in Historic. This one's a little harder this side. We have the Behold the Multiverse that we can foretell and play on turn 3 to try to draw some lands. I think too much of our big things. I'm going to take the mulligan on this one as well. This one I'm gonna keep with. question is patient rebuilding or fastest intervention? Well, let's see. Looking at, we can get to, if we get to third lane, we get to that. I think the patient rebuilding is a way to kind of win that our opponent has to answer. And so I'm going to go risk this at the moment and say hello to the opponent. Should have let off with that. Hopefully they'll take some time building up with some coming to play tap lands. That is not the case. Green keeps us safe for a little while, so we'll play out search for Ascanta. Snow-covered island. Seagate Restoration. I think I'm gonna want that card because it could be a land, but I'm hoping instead to turn it into a spell to help us win the game later on. Negate? Growth Spiral. Whew, okay. I always get nervous when it's like 2 and they're like, wait, why are they doing this in response? So, okay, Growth Spiral, I forget about that. So, okay, not too bad. Jorn, no problem. We're probably going to want to bounce him. Oh, man. Alright, we got to put Ulamog to the graveyard. Hopefully our opponents will see, breathing a sigh of relief that they are dodging an Ulamog. I think at this point, as much as I don't want them... I want to use up my mana by using Patient Rebuilding, but I feel like it's almost better to use a Brazen Borrower here and stymie them a turn. But again, I'd be in the same position the next turn. So I'm going to go with Patient Rebuilding and hope that it doesn't cost me the game here. I feel like the upside is really good for us. I mean, if we get blown out, yeah, this is definitely the turn that we would get blown out on because they'll have eventually 10 mana worth of spells to cast. Glittering Frost. Alright, so now a little bit less. Thorn Lieutenant. Target spell or ability. Alright, that's an interesting choice for this. 6. Alright. Sausage Deep Dwelling. Interesting. That's some good stuff, but not really synergistic. Alright, they have 2 swamps up, so we don't have to worry about too much happening to us. The Guardian Idol, probably should have that go to the graveyard. I need to stack these triggers differently, because I want to, like, draw first before looking at what I'm going to get. Alright, well, we'll have to play this, I'd say. I feel like we just play out the commander, we're not going to get anywhere, really. So I think we go with Foretelling. And this way then we have these 2 open. It's kind of late for Spell Pierce, to be honest, so I think I'm just going to bounce Jorn now. So this way they don't get any more untaps with it. Oh, it's not 2 swamps, it's Glittering Frost. It keeps throwing me off. So I think I'm just going to go into the settings real quick and change it so that I can auto-order triggered abilities. I think I'm going to turn that off for right now, because it kind of matters that I'd rather be drawing and then using the search to see what I get. Alrighty, so order triggers. Put that here, put that afterwards. Yeah, I think this makes better sense. Ooh, 2 cards. Alright, so we draw those 2. Yes, put that on top of the library. That to me makes better sense. Alright, so we have that. This will cost 2 less if we control a flyer. If we pay out the 6 here, it's not ready just yet. So I think we play out Brazen Borrower. Play out Gust of Wind on Jorn. I'm sorry. I forgot. It's not Jorn. It's Jorn. It's a Y sound. We have got a Solemn, which is nice. And then I think we just pass the turn here. The ability is 6 mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they could be using that effect. Not the worst thing in the world. Fatal Push. Unless they pay 2. They have two floating. I don't think it's... Spell Pierce isn't worth it. So we're getting some good numbers of cards in hand, though. Alright, pass to attacks. We'll take the 2. Is it too much to ask for that Ugin and Alrund to pick me on the same turn? Helm of the Host. Create a token that's a copy. I think I have to try to Spell Pierce this right now. Just because I can see this getting worse. I don't want them also to play that on Jorn. So at least this way then they kind of have to pick and choose. This doesn't get trample at all, does it? Alright, so put that at the bottom. Done. No trample, right? Okay. No extra card draw. Let's put that to the library and let's draw the land. Alright, let's play the land. We do have Ugin. This will get a 1/1 warrior. I'm gonna risk it. Okay, so I had something of a feeling that Ugin was gonna be all right. Now he might die because now they have access to black, all their mana. That he might die to a murderous rider or something to that effect sometime soon. But I think we're probably looking in a good spot right now. All right, there's Jorn. We have 8 mana to cast things, so we could use Alrund's Epiphany, so we can plus shoot Alrund's Epiphany, get an extra turn. All right, nice. Math works out to be... Oh, alright, and they concede. Alrighty. Ryklops, thank you very much for the game. Let's go on to the next one. Alright, I think this hand's going to be a mulligan. Well... I could always foretell this, and then we can always use this as a land. We're playing against dirtydancer, piloting a Harald, King of Skemfar. And this would be... They'd probably want to curve out, so we could use the Lofted Denial for a little bit. I'm going to give this one a shot. Scry, yeah, we can do that. We have this for later. So worst case, it's our land drop. Hopefully we'll draw into some things that will smooth this out a little bit for us. Say hello to the opponent. Lead up the snow-covered island. And then on this stage in a while, first destroy the Bola statue while we're at it. Alright, overgrown tombs from the opponent. And I would say let's just foretell this. Get that out of the way. It's possible I should have left open for the Lofted Denial, but can't expect a 2-drop really to be worried about that I can think of. Arcane Signet's fine. We have Essence Capture up. Alright, so everything's kind of going alright. Be nice if we had a creature with this, but I will take the removal as it is. It's a, if they play a creature, it's a hard counter to the Lofted Denial at least. Marwyn the Nurturer. Alright, Lofted Denial doesn't work. Submit 0. Okay, let's go with the Winged Words. Alright, we drew a Spell Pierce. Alright. I think they're going to play their commander out now here, though, as they'll probably have their 4th land drop, and they can deal with most counter spells at this point. Alright. Spell Pierce was a good timely draw for us. If we're at 5. Pass the turn. Now we're getting to the point where they can try casting bigger things, we'll just try to keep countering it, or they'll try to sneak in a small thing like they are right now, which is totally fine. An Elf, Warrior, or Tyvar card. Alright. This is 1, right? Yep, nope. Alright, so Lofted Denial worked well against me. It hasn't seemed to work well when I try to use it. I am wary of playing Atemsis out now into an empty board, as I can only imagine they have a whole host of removal spells in their hand, so I want to wait till I at least have... Ooh, this is a tough call. Yeah, I guess we're taking 6. I was thinking, oh yeah, then I realized, oh, Harald has Menace. So it doesn't, or Harald. Elderfang Ritualist. That's fine. So we have 5, 6, 7 mana. Oh, we had 7 mana. Had 7 mana. Well, we're back up to 7. Okay. So we'll play out Solemn here. And then next turn... We still have the 2 up, which is nice. Next turn, we'll try to Elvish Chancellor. Alright, Ugin will be a good one to draw. So let's see what we can do here. Damage mitigation. Block that. Down to 12. 4, 8. So there's lethal on board right now. So we now have a chance. We have our land. If we draw Ugin, we have a possibility of turning things around a little bit. Can't use the Lofty Denial there. Alrund it is. So that's 8 mana. Well, let's see. We play out the extra turn spell for 6. And we can play out... Alright, so I think we do Alrund and Alrund's Epiphany then. Take the extra turn. Let's play out Haka. Gives us our best bet to try to find some sort of way of surviving. So I think we swing with Haka. Bounce, Scry 2. Don't want either of those. We want the Ugin. I don't draw cards off of it. Okay, that's kind of important that I forgot about. We do the bounce. So let's see. Marwyn, whenever a new one comes into play, stuff. So we need to get creatures in board. That kills that. That's alright, so that gives me some more possibilities. I think we go with Atemsis and Haka. And then next turn we can try to use Seagate Restoration and try to win with Atemsis maybe that way. Block there. Oh, these 2 block that. And we take 4, go down to 8. I'm thinking he's got some sort of trick or possibly a board wipe, but if he had a board wipe, he would have just won with everybody. Ah, he wanted to draw some cards. That's what I didn't pick up on. Okay. Elvis Visionary. Underrealm Lich. There's no... Yeah, I think I'm safe with this for right now. So let's draw 5, a bunch of cards. Alright, let's play out Castle Vantress. So we have... This is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I think this might be game. So let's swing in. Sure, don't care. And let's reveal our hand. And we got there. Alrighty, dirtydancer, thank you very much for the game. And that is the video for today. Overall, I had a great time playing Atemsis All-Seeing. Getting the alt win was a lot of fun in that last game. A couple of things I would probably change in the deck right now would probably actually cut the Alrund's Epiphany. I know it helped me out a lot in that last game, but I don't think it does much. The ceiling is really low. I said that the wrong way. The floor is really low. While the ceiling is great, it doesn't happen as often to really put me over the top with the card. And probably swap out maybe Essence Capture. I might keep Essence Scatter, but the Capture might get cut just because the double blue has been tricky to keep up. And Auto Tapper does a terrible job with that. And it might just be better off served as maybe something that's a more impactful counter spell. Something like Oh man, I'm already blanking on the 6-cost one. But something like more impactful like that, or maybe just a better all-purpose counter spell instead, like a basic cancel. Except for those small things, I think the deck does fine. I'm looking forward to keeping this one around for a little while. I'm open to suggestions. If any of you have an Atemsis deck yourselves, I would please share a deck list with me. I would love to get some better ideas on how to build the deck. If you like today's video, click the thumbs up icon down below. If you really like what I'm doing, please subscribe to the channel to get Brawl content brought to your inbox on a weekly basis. I just hit 50 subscribers like I was saying before in the beginning, and I'm really excited about that. I just wanted to say thank you all for your support. It's greatly appreciated. As always, thank you for visiting the Batcave, and have a great day.